All right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Scotty Talks About. And we are live like we always do. Always check to make sure we're on. And we're on Facebook at Shadow Hunters, Paranormal Investigators, Teams, and Events. So it's great. So welcome, everybody, this week. So, yes, I had my birthday. Woohoo! Went out for a lot of free food this week. So let's see what happens this evening. So welcome, everybody, as we get going. So hi, the Shadow Hunters, Paranormal, so whoever's there behind Shadow Hunters. Hi, guys. Awesome guest tonight, everybody. Andrea Humphrey is with me tonight. Excited to have her. So we're waiting for everybody to come in. Once you get in the room, or once the people load into the room, it's always better, like I always say on the show, it's always better if you're loaded. Does that make sense?
You froze like that for a minute.
Oh, did I? Nice. Hi, Jen. Welcome to the show. So Andrea Humphrey is my guest tonight. Andrea and I go back a long way, kind of long way, but it seems like a long way, doesn't it?
It's probably not a long way this time.
Are we freezing here, or what's going on? Let's see if we can get this going here. Are you freezing or am I freezing?
I think a little bit of both.
A little bit of both, okay. We'll see what's going on here, see if we can get some. Oh, there it goes. It looks like it's up now, so we'll see what we can do. All right, welcome everybody. Yeah, Andrea and I go back a kind of a far way, not super far. But we do a show together called Connecting Spirits, Spirit Connections. It's great. We do it. So we'll talk about this tonight. Andrea, welcome to the show, hon.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Scotty. It's good to see you.
Yeah, it is good to see you. Andrea and I haven't seen each other since like right as COVID was hitting, or before COVID. We've been kind of locked up here, so. You don't hear me?
I heard you. I heard you.
You know, this is a part of the show when you talk.
Oh, I gotta communicate. Oh, I just was gonna sit here and look.
You gotta kind of talk. I know. Metaphysically, I could understand what you were saying. I knew what you were thinking. I figured it all out.
Yeah.
But everybody at home can't see.
Oh, funny.
So Andrea and I met at the Old Baraboo Inn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the world's largest.
You remember that night? When did you kind of explain how we met?
Yeah, the world's largest ghost hunt is where we met. I was to be the psychic for Old Baraboo Inn, and you were going to do the headquarters. And was that where was that? The headquarters supposed to be? I can't remember.
I think it was that year we were supposed to be in New Orleans.
That's what I thought.
Maybe in Cincinnati. And then we were somewhere else. And then we decided might as well do it at Old Baraboo Inn. So
yeah. So that's how we met, and we did the big event that evening, which was pretty awesome. It was pretty interesting. I had never really done a big ghost hunt before. I just had never really been exposed to that. And it was a learning experience for me. And then, being able to watch you and then work with, I think there were a couple different teams there too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that was really interesting. It was kind of an eye opener. I had been there before, but I really hadn't. I just was going off what I felt. I hadn't really, I didn't know the paranormal. I didn't know the rules, the paranormal rules. I didn't know that part. So
there's not many rules.
No, there's not, but there's like there's like consistent things. Like I hadn't even used in EVP, is it?
Right. EVP.
Did I say it right?
You did.
Proud of myself. I hadn't even like used one of those. Or like the voice box things.
Yeah.
So it was really kind of cool to see and watch and see how that worked.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, it was cool. But that night was one of those things where Andrea and I just clicked immediately. It was one of those type of nights. It was just like we never. And I was kind of trepidatious because I'm coming here to old, in the world's largest ghost hunt, and I've been at Old Baraboo before. And then they said, "Oh, there's another medium coming to work with you tonight." And I was like, "Oh, okay, all right, I'm good, whatever." And then Andrea walks in, and the moment we started working together, it was normal. It's like we've been together for years, and we have so multiple lives and all that jazz. So we've been together, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was actually would have been like my first time. Like I didn't even know what I was walking into. Really, he's like, "Oh, you want to do this?" I'm like, "Sure, why not?"
Yeah.
So different.
And then I send you and Andrea. I go, "Now you guys do this. Go."
Andy, yeah. Andy, yeah.
I mean, you and Andy,
go explain to people this. That I'm like,
you guys go do that.
We did. It was cool.
You did. It was really cool. I mean, it really helped Andy too.
Yeah. Yeah, I miss working with her.
I do too. We just talked and we're going to actually go out to lunch. So,
Andy, nice.
Yeah, let's plan the lunch, Andy. Really, seriously.
Yeah.
Andy, so everybody knows Andy was my manager for about a year.
Can I invite myself?
Yeah, it'll be fun.
It's me inviting myself.
But Andy and Andrea are both members of Psychics Tonight here in Madison, and Andy's also the one up in Portage, Westfield with Sandy. So it's kind of cool. Excited to have. So Andrea, why don't we just go ahead and give a brief bio of yourself so everybody's in the room, because there's a bunch of people in the room now.
Okay.
Go ahead and let everybody know who you are, and we can go from there.
All right.
Oh, there's Marta. Hi, Marta.
Hi, Marta. Hello, Marta. I miss her face so much.
Like I told her, I texted her one night. I said, I really miss her hugs.
I know. She's a very good hugger. Janice really misses Marta too.
Oh, I bet.
So yeah, she misses. I used to have to drag her to Psychic Tonight, and now she's like. She had mentioned a couple times about missing going to Psychics Unite. So It'll be nice when we can all be in one space.
Yeah, Marta says she misses Jay. Marta says she misses Jay.
Yeah, Jay really likes her.
Hi, Jenny. So, but yeah, tell Janice if she gets done with her homework, she can come online to Psychics Unite on Monday nights.
Well, she's at Dad's tonight, so I didn't even mention. Well, I told her I was doing it, but
you can watch. She can watch it later, and she can come to Psychics Unite on Monday nights. Make sure your homework's done.
Yeah, right. So I'll just explain who I am, I guess. I'm Andrea Humphrey. I am a psychic medium. I guess I've been doing this professionally, I think about 6-7 years, maybe. I have my own business, which is Crow Spirit Connection. And I work out of my home. I do mediumship work and psychic work and healing. I also do counseling and energy work and do inner child healing, assist people in all different types of healing. It's the best job I've ever had. Very grateful for it. So that's, I guess I was always a weird kid. I was always different, but I just didn't know what it was. And I was an alcoholic and an addict for years. And that was the way that I coped with feeling everything. That's the way I coped with being an empath. And it took me getting sober and start healing those things that caused me to want to numb out and understand why I felt everything I felt.
Right.
And you know, and the obsession to stay drunk kind of went away. So there's that. Yeah. But so that's where I'm at today. I run my own business, and I'm so grateful that I get to do that in my life. And now I'm also a stay-home school teacher with my daughter, and and that part is a little. There's that. I'm not a big. I
can never do new math. I can't do that. I can do the old.
Yeah, that's where we struggle. I think mine is like, I want her to just, you know, I don't want this to be such a shitty experience, you know, and that. So I'm really lenient. I'm probably more lenient, and so yeah, I gotta probably get on her, but I don't want to nag her, you know. So
right.
But she's getting better. She had to lose some privileges to realize she can't lie about having her stuff done, because we're going to find out eventually. So
even Scotty will find out.
Yeah, well, we get emails, which helps. So, so yeah.
Julie, there's Julie says hi. Jen says hi. Nate says hi. Jenny says hi. There's a lot of people in the chat room. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show tonight. Barb's here. Who else is on it? So lost my chat room. So, but yeah, everybody's saying hi, getting acquainted tonight. We're getting acquainted. Well, you know what was funny is when you were talking, I saw you rubbing your hands, so I know Spirit's there with you.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's how I.
She's like, but we're not doing readings. We're talking.
I know. I set some intentions. So sometimes I need a little help articulating. So I just call them all in. Otherwise, God knows what we'll be talking about, Scotty.
I'm okay with it. So if we want to talk there, we can talk that. It doesn't matter where we talk.
To be a little bit appropriate. A little bit anyway.
Yeah, but it's been cool. I was thinking about it. You know, you and I have even done ghost hunts together. You know, we went up to the lady's house in Oshkosh.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Did that, and we've done Old Baraboo Inn together. We've done a bunch of stuff. We went. Yeah. Didn't you go out to the woods with us in Madison?
No, I don't think I went.
You didn't go out there with us.
No, but I remember. I watched the video, I think. I watched or I was live with you guys or something.
Yeah, you're live, I think. Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, because I remember it.
Yeah, it was fun.
A little.
Well, we remember a lot of stuff. We did a lot of stuff together, so. But yeah, the big thing that we do together is, and what we do for Psychics Unite is Andrea and I, we do a show called Connecting Spirits or Spirit Connections. I always say it wrong.
Spirit Connections.
Spirit Connections, yeah. And it's a gallery reading show. So I was talking to Andrea before, Jen and Devin. I said we have 2 new people that can do the show with Andrea and I. So they're traveling from Psychics Unite group to Psychics Unite group, doing gallery shows. So the fun thing about our gallery shows is that they're way different than others. You know, if you go to see a gallery of like Teresa Caputo, John Edward, or somebody like that, you know, you'll see them just doing the reading by themselves. Well, what we do is we you know, when Andrea and I just do it ourselves, her and I will split off and we'll even do this reading for the same person.
Mm-hmm.
Or if we have more people on stage with us, like we did in Mattoon, you know, for the event down there for Becky's group, and the event we did it there, we had 5 of us on stage, and that's so cool because you get to see 5 different mediums in 5 different styles doing the same reading and getting very similar things, but from a different perspective. So it's kind of cool.
And having 5 different personalities, you're always going to find somebody you connect with. You're always going to if you don't quite understand the first reading, it always seems to be validated through other psychics or mediums.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's just fun because everybody's so different, and we did one in Milwaukee just recently here, and Andrea is known as the swearing medium. I'm just going.
Yeah, I don't have a censor. I'm like a trucker.
We did our connection show in Milwaukee, and I'm just on stage. I'm blushing. I'm getting the things.
You weren't blushing that bad. You swear.
I'm blushing now. Gosh damn it.
Gosh damn it. Well, I can only be who I am. That's it. I tried being other people. It don't work. So
just so you know, Charlie Rainbow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's got stuff on her website. Let this shit go.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Yeah, there you go.
She made that.
That was our saying for our gallery show.
Stuff. Yep.
Let the shit go, bitches.
Let that shit go.
That's like that's my mantra. Let that shit go.
Yeah. It's good. Why'd you say it that way? Oh, so Jen says she's your kind of person, or Jen's kind of person you are. Yeah, Jen, you two would get along well.
Yeah, no filter, little bit of a hippie. Don't give too many F's.
A little bit.
Little bit of a hippie.
Major hippie.
Just a little. Just a little.
But that was their saying at a couple of our gallery shows now. Let this shit go.
Yeah.
It started at the dance studio here in Madison. Was the first time I heard you say it, and then now it's kind of her mantra.
Yeah. Well, so many of us hold on.
It's true, because you think about it now in this time of COVID and stuff. People got to let this shit go. We're getting way too wound.
Well, and it's also not taking shit so serious. Like we have these expectations that we need to be this, and most of the time that comes from our past experiences, and it just blocks us from trying to achieve what we want in our life. So let that shit go. Don't serve you.
It doesn't.
Easier said than done. But it's a choice.
Right. It is. And because, a lot of times we live in those old expectations and those old perceptions that should no longer be there with us, And as even through the COVID and everything that we've had, we're doing videos like this where we're in two different places, and otherwise we would be doing it together, But, the more this is, yes, there are people dying and want to do it, but this is also a place of our growth. It's a place of spiritual growth. It's kind of putting us together, trying to say enough of this divisiveness of either party, because it's on both sides. It's not one or the other. It's both. It's spirit is here now because we have the time to listen to them, and that's why so many more people are being affected by spirit right now, is because they have the time and they can listen. And they're not running around to every baseball game or football.
Yeah, we're not distracted by outer things. We're being forced to go within. I've been calling it the Cocoon Stage, because it's so many people are being literally forced to go within and look at our darknesses. And some of those darknesses are connected to past experiences and belief systems and expectations and shit that's not working, that we keep dragging into new experiences. And then we wonder why we're stuck, or we wonder why we're on that, I call it a hamster wheel. We just keep going in a freaking circle. And what's happening? Well, you're propelling that with how you're thinking about your situation and your life. So yeah, it's been a big cocoon stage too. Before we even got on here, I was, I've been really isolating myself probably more than I need to, honestly, but it's just such an uncertain, the energy's so thick, it's just there's so much fear. And I'm a pretty sensitive empath. I feel everything. And even if I don't want to, or, I don't connect to it, still just going out into stores and stuff like that. It's just, there's so much hopelessness, and I try to stay light, but sometimes, man, it's like you can cut it with a knife. So I've just kind of been taking this time to look and do some self-evaluation and what I want to look like when my wings come in.
Right. By the way, Andy just came in. So Andy, watch the beginning of the show because Andrea invited herself to lunch.
I invited myself. That's how I roll.
But yeah, I mean, that's what it is. I mean, when you really look at it, though, I mean, because the election did it, divided the country worse, which it was really a shame. But we saw all this divisiveness, and now we're dividing each other because of COVID, the elections, of a lot of things, race, and and sex and all this stuff. It's just really coming to the forehead right now when we should really be coming together as one.
Right.
And that's what Spirit wants us, and that's why Spirit is doing this. It's really giving us a chance, and that's why they keep coming to everybody, is because they want everybody to know that little piddly stuff has to be put away. We have to be one. Everybody is one. Everybody's the same. Everyone is a part of God. We're all part of God. We're all God. We're all one. And the more that we can think of that, the more we can be in that mold and that understanding, the better we're going to be.
Yeah. True that.
So if you got questions in the chat room for Andrea or I, please put them in and we'll be more than happy to answer them. Yeah, see, like Nate said, COVID had created a situation where he can be with his family more. Very thankful for that. Yeah, it's true. I mean, we have to look at the positives in this too, because a lot of the stuff we were doing wasn't for our highest and best good.
It was distractions.
Right.
It was keeping us busy. It was keeping us so disconnected from our higher selves and who we are. That's when depression comes in. That's when I feel like addiction comes in. That's when expectations and dependencies and codependencies. We're looking outside ourselves for validation or to feel good, and that's not what it's about. It's not. That has to come from within, and then everything outside will work itself out. That's the way. But we try to get in there and we try to, fix things, or I want this. And a lot of times I know personally it's because there's things that happened when I was a child or whatever that I didn't get my needs met, or I wasn't validated, or I wasn't, emotionally, I didn't get whatever. So I go outside myself and try to get that fulfilled.
Right.
And that never works. Trust me. They write a book on that shit. That never works.
No.
Just keep doing it. Keep beating your head up against that wall. They'll work.
And that's the thing, that's my biggest thing I tell people a lot is that we hold on too long. And I know you say, let this shit go, but that's really what it is we keep blaming ourselves our whole lives for things that we've already healed or we should have healed. We keep that wound open, though, is in some ways in respect to get sympathy.
Right. Oh, yeah. Oh, there's so much addiction to being a victim or being, getting attention. So some realizations I had about myself at the beginning of my journey, just going to be vulnerable and share this. when I would get sick or not feel good, I would go right to that 6-year-old little girl or 5-year-old little girl. And I wanted to be taken care of. And I would get pissed at people if they didn't do that for me. Right. And what I realized is that that's when I got the most attention, is when I was sick. I could always get attention when I didn't feel good. Right. So that became a belief or a pattern that I carried into my adulthood. And it was just such a realization that I would literally, like, my family used to call me a hypochondriac because I would do that. And it didn't dawn on me that was like how, as a child, my only perception to get my needs met was to not feel good or to have a tummy ache. So as an adult, I would do that too, or I would find some other way to be a victim or make people feel sorry for me, you know? Yeah. That was a tough one to realize.
Yeah, that is tough. I mean, I even know I had it because I look back at Facebook when it first started in 2008, 12 years ago. You can see on their post every weekend, oh, I got a headache. I'm not feeling good. It was my way to build support or build, just feel comfort that people care.
Or receive love. Yeah. That's when you felt most loved.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hi, Lisa. Thanks for watching. But, the more I am now, I understand that I have to give love to receive love. And I have to be of love, and I have to help others. And that's the way I get love now. Right. And that was a major change. It's a very big shift in our lives when we know we can't, it's got to be all about us.
Right. Well, yeah, we have to love ourselves enough to be able to not connect with the things that aren't of our highest good, or aren't those behaviors and belief systems that are, they're programmed, or they're learned behaviors, or they're generational imprints, or whatever you want to call them. But a lot of times those are things that we learn to fulfill things that we may not be getting fulfilled. And it's not that it's our parents' fault, or it's not anybody's fault. That's just, I feel like, the newer generations are on a different vibration, higher than the generation before.
Yeah,
so it's almost ignorance or lack of information or lack of awareness or consciousness. And that's just what you did, and that's how you did things.
If you look at those funniest videos or funny videos on Facebook and YouTube of the little kids, like the one they had with, it was, I don't know if it was, I forget, one of the shows on the late night shows. He said that they had the parents film the kids and say they ate all their Halloween candy. I think that was Jimmy Kimmel.
Yep.
So he had the parents hide all their candy and said they ate it, and then watch the kids cry. And you can see that most of the time the brother would always do what the other person did, or the sister would always do what the older person did. And it wasn't that they had any emotion, because they didn't break out right away. And they broke out after they saw the other one do it, but it's the same thing. And when you look back in time, I mean, even when I was a kid, if my parents were talking, I would do something and I would cry, and then they would all come to you, and that's the way we got our attention. And so we still think that that's the way we need to get attention, and a lot of posts on Facebook are that way, whoa, I can't believe this happened, but they don't explain it. They just put that so then everybody has to talk to them, which is a shame. Just come out and say what it is, and we'll be more than happy to talk with you about it,
Well, and I think if you look at those things, it's almost like, so you and I are conscious of that stuff, and we consciously try not to do that to our kids. So I feel like those programmings change through our experience. So we had to have those experiences
Right.
to be conscious of it, so we break that cycle in the next generations. And I was just having this discussion with my daughter's father, my ex-husband, and how we were talking about our own cycles and how we are both collectively now, like, we're actually friends. We can actually, I actually like him a lot more now. And so, but
you've both grown.
What's that?
You both have really grown.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, you guys are very different places, but yeah.
Oh, exactly. But being able to see our traumas or our conditionings and being able to consciously change that for her. And then to see when she does display one of those behaviors that I know damn well she got from me. So then I get an opportunity to heal my own little girl in that. Yay!
So Judy says, and by the way, she said hi before too, I think, to you. Judy Kevlin Bochart.
Oh, Judy.
Yeah, Judy. Yeah.
It's Judy. Yep.
Yeah. She said, my kids are definitely on a higher vibration. I'm glad, but I can definitely see the difference.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. It's amazing once we just like set the intention to see where these things come from within us. We'll see, if we have children, we'll be able to have it mirrored back to us. So we have to let that shit go, like they're little mirrors.
Yeah. What's funny is, and I'm going to out Alex here, but Alex has really come into his own in the spiritual realm, and we always knew it would, but he's overshadowed by Dad.
Mm-hmm.
And what Dad does in the field. So it's been really hard for him to find his own. And I've been allowing him to find his own. I've been not trying to push him in the directions I see, because that's not going to help him find his own path. But he's gotten on a very spiritual path, and he's got a lot of stones. He does, all the stuff you do. He would be another hippie.
When I see him at the gas station, because he works at the gas station I go to all the time. Yep. We always chat, and he'll pull out his crystals and show me, or he'll ask me what I think about this, or and if I have time, we definitely will chat up. But yeah, I noticed I would see where that would be a difficult place, not just in this realm, but in any, if you have a dad who's a successful lawyer and you are interested in being a lawyer, you are going to always hold yourself to that standard. But he may be a criminal lawyer and you're a divorce lawyer, So it's apples and oranges. Everybody's gifts are different.
Right. I understand. I mean, look at how many football players, their dads or were successful players, and now their kids are trying to be, and unfortunately some really push them towards it, and they can't, and I never wanted to push Alex into anything. I wanted him to allow him to grow his own path, because then it's stronger for him. And then he's more committed to it if he did it instead of Dad pushing it. I mean, I've always told him he's had gifts, even Christian has gifts, with his own stuff, but Christian came to teach me. So there's no doubt in my mind about that. But with Alex, I'm so proud of him on the fact and how he's really come through and really has found his own path, and he gets readings and all this stuff now, and he can actually do cards himself. So it's kind of cool. It's really neat to see your son, get into his path too. But to listen to his calling, because he's always had it, and now he's listening to it, even with his dad in it,
Well, and I think too, when we have children, because I have two older boys who are 19 and 21, and then an 11-year-old daughter. And my kids remember their mother being an alcoholic who never, took care of herself and blamed everybody else. And like, my spiritual awakening happened when they were probably, 15 or in 13, maybe a little before that. So it was and I changed so abruptly. And the manipulation wasn't allowed anymore. All these things that they were used to, all these dysfunctional patterns we had in our family, I was starting to change those, which pissed off a 13 and 15-year-old. So, and they were used to me doing things and then not following through. And they were used to me having all these, jobs. And so it took them a really long time to trust this process was really their mom, because the mom that they were raised with was not the mom that they had then. And so I think there was a lot of resentment, actually, because they were forced to change. And they used to call my essential oils leaf juice, and I buy them crystals for Christmas, and they still roll their eyes, but I know they carry them. I know they use them. And I know they have gifts too. I've seen them channel. They've told me shit where I'm like, that ain't you. You're not that smart. That's spirit.
Yeah, but I mean, when we first met, that you were already in that change mode, and I could definitely see it in your voice. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Janice too. I mean, she was much younger, but you were standing your own. You were finding the true you, and that's the most thing. I'm so proud of you for doing that, and you've come so far in your growth and your understanding and your true you. It's been amazing to see you, come out. And to me, you already have your wings, because you've already came out, and you're so blessed. And that's why so many people love you. And that's why they love hearing your messages, because you truly understand, the situations everyone was in, because you were in them.
Yeah. Yeah. I asked Spirit, I'm like, okay, if I'm chosen, or I'm supposed to have these gifts, and I'm supposed to be, do this work, then why the F did I have to struggle so hard? And what I heard was, how can you help others if you don't know?
Right.
And that I could accept. And it's really funny, in my work and in my clients, there's always something that I can connect with. There's always something that I'm like, yeah, I've been there too. And I don't judge, because I can put myself in every freaking situation. I can see why people choose what they choose, and I can see behind it their experiences and emotions and feelings, and not feeling like they can do anything else. Like, I get all of it. It's almost like a flash of a ball of information just shoots into my head, like, and I see where it comes from, why they do that, what they're not seeing, maybe,
right.
Or don't want to look at because it's freaking painful, right? So, yeah, it's kind of crazy sometimes.
It is, but when we look at it, is that we're so blessed that Spirit's with us and keeps guiding us through these things. I mean, a lot of people in the chat room, Nate is talking about him and his kids and the things that they bring to him. But Nate's growing too. Nate's taking classes, and he's growing so much too. But it's just amazing how when we take the first step, Spirit's right there to hold us up the whole time.
Well, it's almost like Spirit waits for us to wake the F up, man. Yeah. They're like, okay, it's about damn time. I got all the shit for you, but you've been blind, And then it's almost like a rush of like synchronicities and numbers and spirit animals and all this, you feel like you're going nuts. I've actually probably been busier in the last month and a half with people that are newly awakening.
Oh yeah, that's my biggest, is the newly awakening. My biggest
client base, yeah, now.
Mine too. A lot less readings and a lot more helping people and growing their abilities. It's astronomically different. But I think that that's what's going to happen moving forward. And that's why Andrea is going to be a part of it, and Devin and Jen. That's where we're looking at for Psychics Unite too. So be prepared. We're working on a new website for them, but that's, we're really going to get into helping people a lot more in their gifts. So look forward to that coming up, because it's going to be good. We're looking for a place that we can teach and mentor and do that type of stuff. So we're very excited to have the four of us, John, Devin, me, and you, all in on this, and I know Luna and Cosmic Delights here in Madison is going to be a part of the new group. So it's exciting. It's exciting for all of us, but it's time for us to be there when these people need it. Because, that's one of the reasons why Terry originally thought of, made the group go, is because of that. We never want anybody not to have somebody to talk to about this. We never, and I didn't have it in the 60s when I had the gifts. I had nobody to talk to. I didn't even have books or internet. We didn't even have cell phones, So it was a very different time back there. And can you imagine when no one believed you, how lonely you felt? But it still happens today. And that's what the sad part of this whole thing is. It's still happening, even when we have all this, And that's why I want to be out more. And that's why I want to do these shows like this and do Psychics Unite and do gallery shows like you and I do, and do more of this, because it's time for everybody to know that let's stop hiding behind this. There's still people that fight you over it. There's still people, that get upset about, being a psychic and medium. Well, it's so sad for them.
Well, and the funny thing is I notice a lot of the people that question it or we all have intuitive abilities.
Everybody.
We all are able to talk to spirit. We all have that connection, but it's your belief system. If you believe, or you've been programmed, or a lot of times what happens is organized religion. Well, some of them teach that this is taboo or not okay. It's almost like, now is the mass awakening. People are waking up because they have these gifts that have been dormant. And now spirit's like, hey, dude, you're going to see dead people now. How you like that?
Hello?
Exactly.
Anybody home?
Exactly.
McFly.
But that's, and I've had people call me and they're like, I think I'm crazy. And I'm like, well, welcome to the club. Good for you. It's about damn time.
We're glad you came. Party's waiting. So come on, join us.
Clear up your third eye there.
Yeah.
Bring that up a little bit.
I'm going to have to do it if I keep touching my camera. I'm going to get it all messed up.
Got a little schmutz on there. Get that.
Hello, schmutz rag. Anybody home? Probably messed up with the camera because I had it like even and all that stuff. No, I don't know.
Just sit like this. I would laugh so hard if you would have fell over.
Yeah, right into the fireplace. And then the flowers would drop on me.
I'd laugh harder if you weren't bleeding.
You would still laugh no matter what, even if I was bleeding.
A little.
I would a lot. And then after you stop laughing, are you okay? Yeah, only 4 or 5 stitches. That's all.
That's no problem.
But that's where the biggest belief is are you ready? It's funny. I say it in all my classes. I tell everybody, I said, are you ready to take the red pill or the blue pill?
Mm-hmm.
Where are we going? Are you gonna originally see everything? Because once you start seeing, you can't go back.
You can't unsee.
Right.
That's always right there. You can try to numb it out, or you can try to distract yourself from seeing it, but you will always see it. Or feel it, or hear it, or smell it, or whatever your superpowers are, that's what you're going to get.
Right. And that's the thing. And that's the other thing. Everybody has it. Not everybody has it to the degrees that other people have it, but everybody has it in some form. Everybody.
Right. And I truly believe it's belief system.
I
truly believe whether you accept it or not, because I know in my case, like, I didn't have anybody to talk. I was hearing voices when I was 11, 12 years old. But back in the 80s, if you told anybody you heard voices, you ended up on lithium and an ice pick in your face. So
imagine the 60s.
Right. So I started using drugs to shut off the voices. And that's what worked for me. Well, it didn't work, obviously, but it numbed me enough probably to keep my ass alive, pretty much.
Yeah. But see, early on, it was that way for me too. And I've never really talked about this, but people who heard me do lectures and stuff have heard me about this. But I've been sober 33 years, and remember, I heard spirits when in the 60s, and I was sobered up in the 80s, and I was drinking when I was 10.
Yeah.
So
I was about 11.
I did it too. You know what I mean? I did it too. But and the thing that taught me was I heard spirit, even though I was drunk. I heard spirit at the 4th of July parade when I was in Racine. It was the guys with Irajima, they paint themselves all bronze and they don't move the whole parade route, those guys.
Yeah.
That float was coming by with the American flag, like kind of, and I was like, and I hear spirit come to me when that float goes by. You'll never be anything if you don't stop drinking. And I was freaked out. And I put that beer down, and I've never had a sip since.
I
was drunk though by the time when the parade was going on, so it was like 9 a.m. I mean,
well, yeah, that's what
4th of July, for God's sakes.
Yeah, I was probably about 11 when I had my first mind altering substance, and I remember thinking, like, thank God, like, finally I don't have to hear all this. And it's most addicts, most alcoholics and addicts, most of them are empaths or sensitive.
Right.
Most of them are. I can walk into a treatment center and I'll be like, oh, bloop, 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 bloop. Look at all your little lights shining. Like, you may feel like shit, but your lights are shining.
Yep. And we've had that too, where, because with Psychics Unite, we don't call everything psychic, even though they have them, because we work with a group too that out of America here, they call themselves Hearing Voices Network. And they are the ones that the people hear the voices, but that's actually a mental illness. So there's a difference between spirit and mental illness. And we always try to say,
thank God nobody told me. That explains a lot.
It is. It really does. But there are people out there that have it, and so we want to help the person the best we can and get them to the right network, because we don't want to be telling them that it's psychic ability when they need medical help.
Right. Yeah.
So there's a fine line. There's definitely a lot of it to do, and that's why we seek out different people with different abilities and different realms, and doctors and psychologists and all kinds of stuff to help us so that people can really get a better life for themselves.
Well, and I think for me, that's all I knew what to call it, because I heard chattering all the time.
Right.
And then when I finally accepted my gifts and accepted the fact that I was a medium and had these gifts, I would close my eyes and see hundreds of faces, and then I would hear all this whispering or chattering.
Right.
And I still wear earplugs when I sleep at night, and that gives me enough white noise to not hear it. It's there. It's just my illusion that it's not, because I have earplugs.
See, I have earplugs in my fan. I do the same thing.
Do you really? I
Yeah.
didn't know you wear earplugs too. Huh.
And,
It
and,
just-
Teen- and Tina Marie, who runs a group for us in South Bend, Indiana, she brings the fan too. You know, so it's a combination of the fan, the white noise, that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's for me too. Everybody goes, "Why do you always have your TV on?" And it's not because I want the TV on. It's just the noise, and I want to do what I'm doing without spirit.
Yeah.
It's just like, give me a few minutes. You know, if I hear it as the TV, then I won't turn to them. You know, because I'll be just like blah blah blah, the same thing as the TV, blah 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 blah. Okay, then I don't have to listen. Gives me
And
a
I'm
moment to turn off.
I'm the opposite. I need, like, if the TV's going and Rob's talking and then Jenna's like, too much. Everybody shut up. Too much. I like the quiet. I get too, I don't know, too overstimulated.
Yeah, but I need the fan. I even have the fan on here next to me at my desk, even
Mhm.
now, because I just need to be blocked away from the other world so I can focus.
Right. Yeah. I think we come up with like all different kinds of, like, it's almost like you just adapt. You know, you just adapt like anything in life. You just adapt and find ways to deal with, you know, what you got going on, because people do, just like people's gifts, people's sensitivities are different too. You know, some people are introverts, some are extroverts, some are sensitive to light and noises or smells and food, and, you know,
Right.
all different sensitivities. You know, it's if you have somebody who is sensitive to all those things, they're going to be sensitive to energy too, you know? So it's being aware and then finding what your medicine and what works for you.
Yeah. So it's funny. Jen says she stays up until I'm ready to fall asleep, but then sometimes, like last night, they are in my dreams. Yeah, they're gonna come anyway.
A lot of times I would just ask them not to, because there was a period in the beginning, there was a period where I wasn't sleeping at all. It was constant downloads, constant information all the time. And I'm like, that's a effing enough. Like, like I'm turning really crabby real fast. Not doing this.
Yeah,
But
that's why the
we
fan
can
goes on.
also, we can also set those boundaries.
We
I
can.
feel like
We do.
we can set those boundaries, but there are some times where spirit's not going to shut up, you know?
And sometimes those are ghosts too. You know, the ghosts come through that way more than spirits, but because spirits tend to have a little bit more respect, unless it's something really important they want to get across. Then even a spirit will get that, you know, that direct. So if everyone at home doesn't know the difference, a spirit is a human or an entity that has died and has crossed over all the way, where a ghost is one that has died and hasn't kind of stuck here in this realm. So that type of energies are quite different, because these energies are all of love, but these can be really mischievous and nasty and intense, right? Because they're still living in that same emotions that they knew as humans.
Now I have a question for you too. This is just like, so would those be disembodied? Is that what you would consider disembodied spirits?
Yeah, I think so. That, you know, that would be very similar, because they're not across. They're not
right.
They're not to whatever realm you call it, Summerland, heaven, whatever you want to call it, other side or oneness.
So they have the ability to attach to us. Okay. Because I would when I go into, like the first time I was at Old Baraboo Inn, I didn't really disconnect as well as I probably should have.
Right. There you go. Yep.
And I didn't know what I was doing. And I had shit come home with me.
Right.
And, you know, and I noticed they'll do that to kids really quickly.
Correct.
Like a lot of times it's because I can feel, or like I'll hear in my head, if somebody contacts me about a haunting in the house, I'll hear disembodied.
Right.
And I'll be like, oh, okay, well then we can clear that. Or we can at least work with that
To get it
help
crossed
them.
over or understand what it is. Yeah.
Right. But if it's like, Aunt Frida, she's just going, hey, she's waiting for coffee.
Right.
So you might as well just make a pot of coffee because she ain't going nowhere.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, that would be a good word to use it too. I mean, that would be, if you hear disembodied, that would mean the same thing, that they're a ghost because, grandpa and grandma are going to come back, but they're not going to possess you.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, they're not going to attach. They're not, because they can come and go as they please because they're coming from love. They're coming back to help us. And most of the spirits out there, even some, but here's the thing too. I went out with Tim Miley in Oshkosh to a house, and there was 2 spirits in that house that were still staying in the house because that was her grandmother's house, and the granddaughter liked to be there, and they're still there now. So it wasn't the fact that they're haunting it, but they are kind of haunting it, but they're spirits because they've crossed over. They just come back. They've come back. So the family was a lot easier to deal with that because they knew they could leave at times and they weren't always stuck in the house.
Well, and we forget too, like, where do you think all these dead guys go? Like, where do you think they go? They don't have like bars or hangouts on the other side. Like, they don't, well, maybe they do, I don't know. But they, like I tell people too, like, sometimes you just have to get used to it. And the fact that you can feel, hear, and see them, that's a gift. That's not a burden. Sometimes they come to us to show us that we do have gifts. And so many, I love the people that are like, well, I don't have any psychic abilities, but my Aunt Martha comes to me from the other side and tells me stuff. Well, then you probably talk to dead guys. Just saying.
Then you're probably not a psychic, you're a medium.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm bump. Or a large. I don't know.
Exactly. Or extra, depends on what you want to be.
Does anybody have any questions for us?
Yeah. So Robin's in the chat room. Hi, Robin, my BFF. Diana's there. Alma's there. Who else came in since we last call? Hi, everybody. Welcome, everybody. Tonight, my guest is Andrea Humphrey. She used to live down the road, but now she moved across town.
Across 15 minutes.
I know.
Literally 15 minutes.
I think it's 7 minutes away, but before you were like 2, so it's a lot easier to hang out.
It's so far.
It's so far. It's 11 minutes, 10 minutes.
Just jump on the interstate, blink a couple times, you're here.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Not doing it yet. It's so funny, since my neck surgery, I still get those shooting pains down my arms,
Yeah.
What's so funny is you ever watch Doctor Strange from Marvel? He's that character, but he always has it, but he comes out of his fingers. Mine go to tip of my fingers and stop. And I'm like, oh, dang it, I could have the energy come out and that would be cool. But it doesn't. It just stops. I'm like,
I think I had that for a little bit after my neck surgery too. Like a year or so.
Yeah. It sticks around for a while.
Yeah.
I look pretty good on the video, by the way. I'm just going to say.
You got nice hair, Scotty. You got real nice hair.
And we're 30 seconds behind, so I can see what I'm doing later.
Yeah, really nice hair. You're growing your hair.
I am way long. But tonight I slicked it back for the show. But it was kind of funny. So I posted my birthday picture of when I was little.
I saw that. The little
everybody goes, "You got the same hair." Yeah, I got the same hair. It has never gone away all my life. Same person.
Yeah.
Same little Scotty.
Those were adorable.
So we're talking about that there. And I know I bring this up all the time, but I know that you and I feel the same way about demons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I bring it up again because I want to keep showing in these shows that too many people jump to that, and it's not really it's not really
A thing.
yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Let me say that bluntly.
I'm waiting for you because you're the swearing medium. You could say it, I can't.
Hey, I haven't said the F-bomb once this time.
I'm surprised. I'm so happy. We're already over an hour in and we're like going, no F-bombs yet. Great.
No, I know. Well, sometimes they slide out. I can't help it.
Kind of disappointed. Facebook
fuck.
give us the.
There it is.
That's my birthday gift. Yay.
So, yeah, we could talk about that. Well, I feel like I've encountered lower vibrational
Right. I agree too.
entities.
Yeah.
Or, I think when we were talking about like the disembodied souls, that can come across as demonic to somebody who doesn't know, because they scratch you. They will, push people down the steps. Like, that is a tricky thing. I do believe that.
And they also come with you, like you said earlier.
Well,
they
yeah.
can attach to you.
So possession. And I know when I was drinking and working in haunted establishments, more than once, I know that there was shit attached to me that made me think and do things outside of my norm.
Right.
I know that for sure. Was it a demon? No, it was an old drunk guy that died at the bar. Like pretty much. So I guess I've never really, I've heard growling. I've been scratched. I've heard get the fuck out, stuff like that. But those are just scare tactics.
Right.
That's just so you leave so they have control of the energy in the space. I don't believe really in Satan.
I don't
per
either.
se. Not the way that the church depicts it.
Right.
So
there's definitely not a hell.
Yeah, you create your own hell with your thoughts and beliefs.
If everybody's been watching the show, Andrea just summed up exactly what I've said for the last 14 weeks, 16 weeks, whatever we've been doing. That's exactly it. That's what it is.
And you create your own heaven. So what are you going to focus on? But I do believe that we can create through negative energy, our own negative energy, that we can create poltergeist, or we can create haunting type looking things.
Agree.
And if you've picked up a disembodied spirit, which isn't hard to do,
right.
If you're not conscious, alcohol is a huge way to do that, because you're not conscious.
Yeah, see, alcohol, so everybody knows there's levels of the drugs in the world, or what people call drugs. When you get up here, I call it medicine. I don't call it drugs. But I mean, alcohol here is probably one of the lowest vibrational ways to live. And if you get in that, that's why a lot of people, even they're drunk, they still get mad. When you start getting higher, when you're doing DMT, ayahuasca and stuff, you don't get mad at all. Because you're doing a higher energy, level.
Hard to be mad on mushroom. Just saying.
It is. It's hard. I mean, but alcohol, but it's that lower energy. That's what it is, and that's
the intention behind it, the intention for why it's even made. So, but I think if you have something that connects with you and your thought processes are at a lower vibration. When I was a drunk, man, everything stuck. There was no positivity. I was a bartender, and I felt I was pretty positive till I sobered up and realized I was fucking angry.
right.
But I think we can create these energetic forms, I guess, or entities.
We can.
That's what I feel.
We can. We bring that into existence. We bring that around. It's just a way of, a way of living in that lower energy, so creating your own hell. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, that sucks.
So Lisa had a question in here. She goes, I would love to open up more. I've had experiences, but usually I feel things more than anything else. Like I feel that there's a spirit with Scotty tonight, but what can I do to enhance this? Well, so I'll give you 30 seconds and I'm going to put it in the chat room. I know who's with me.
Yeah, he's right there. He's right. I saw him before we even went live. He's on your right shoulder. Isn't that your right shoulder?
Yeah, my right. Yeah, right there. So Andrea and I know who's there. So plus we also have 2 other people with me too tonight. So go ahead and see what I always say with everybody. They go, oh, I have these experiences and I feel them. I said, why don't you talk to them?
Mm-hmm. Ask questions.
Yep. Ask questions. Say, hey, who are you? I feel you. I know you're here. You're trying to get me, like I always say, if you're in a convention that people are deaf and you go to a deaf convention and you yell, hey, to see if anyone turns around, one person turns around, that person's hearing. So then you go to them. But that's what spirit does all day long to us, is they yell, hey, and the person that turns around to them is the one they're going to come talk to because they know you can hear them. So Lisa, who's behind me? So
you're not asking me.
No, I'm asking Lisa.
I was going to say, like,
I know you know who it is. But yeah, but that's the biggest thing. That's how we start enhancing. The other thing we started enhancing is we do meditation. The other thing, Lisa, is we're starting the Psychics Unite group. We already do Psychics Unite, but like for example, I do teach classes in your development. So if you're ever interested, let me know. Anyone else is interested, let me know. Hit me up on Facebook. Andrea does readings, but we also have some very good teachers in Psychics Unite. Jen and yeah, Lisa says, I was thinking it was your grandfather or your dad. This is my dad.
Dad.
Yeah, that's Dad. Dad's with me all the time, so that's really cool that you picked him up. But him and I, just so everybody knows in the room, him and I didn't have the greatest relationship in life, but in death we have the greatest relationship. Exactly what a father or son should always have. And he's my biggest backer. He's my biggest protector. He's always there for me, and he loves my family, watches out for them, and I couldn't ask for a better dad to be with me, So, but see, that's how we got over it. I got over it. If we would have left all that animosity that we had for each other in life, if we continued that, how sad would that be? So I let that shit go. So I said it, Andrew. I said it. Yay!
Good job, Scotty. Yeah. Well, it's funny how we can mend relationships after people have crossed over. Like, I guess it's not funny, but it's really actually awesome that we get like second chance. And the thing is when people cross over, they don't carry that heavy burden like we do. Once you cross, it's not as heavy.
Right. It isn't.
And you go through this process of understanding the whys and why everything had to be that way, because we do have these soul contracts or commitments things we choose to learn in as a human, to have a human experience. And sometimes as humans, we think, oh, those things are really shitty. Those shouldn't be happening. But it's like, yes, they should be, because that's what you kind of signed up for. Like, you chose to have that experience, not realizing that you were going to have amnesia when you got here, so, it's really cool that we can connect. I have a few people in my life that I'm not able to have communication with or resolution and things. And, so I actually look forward to the day that I can have that with them. Mm-hmm. I don't want to say I look forward to the day they die. That's not what I mean, but I know
that makes a lot of sense. And by the way, Lisa says that she actually had readings with both of us.
Oh,
so that's
awesome.
Cool. Anyway, but that's what it is. And a lot of people come, in at a reading, and I always say at the beginning, remember, I can't guarantee you come true. I'm just going to bring whoever's here for you. And it's because of whatever you need. And so when I look at it, and a lot of times they go, I say, your grandfather and your father's side. And I said, and I know that they weren't very close. And their face goes like, why the hell is he here? You know, they had problems.
Ex-husbands, that's my favorite.
Yeah. Why are they, you know, why is this? You know, well, it's because they've crossed over. They understand what they did wrong. Mm-hmm. And now is the only way to fix it is by being with you and helping you in your life now, because they're in the better life. You know what I mean? So
it's for us to heal.
Right.
Because you heal that emotionally and you heal yourself physically, because those emotional things can become a physical ailment.
Right. It really can.
So it's about, when you stay pissed off at somebody, don't hurt them. It hurts you.
It hurts you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what the biggest, we were talking about this starting the show, but that's what the COVID and everything is, and all this stuff is just making us realize that we are the ones responsible for us. Mm-hmm. Nobody else. We are. Mm-hmm. And so until time when we take responsibility, it's not going to change. If we're going to blame others, it'll never change.
Well, and it's taking your power back too. How many of us walk around feeling like we don't have any power, or we, blame other people for shit? But the fact of the matter is that you have control over how you're going to respond. And if you've got unhealed wounds, every time somebody says something, it's going to feel like freaking battery acid thrown in there. So you have to heal it within yourself and be enough for yourself, so you don't have to look outside yourself for validation, and you won't walk around being butthurt all the time.
Right. Exactly. Well, cool. Well, thank you, everyone. So Andrea, we're over the hour already. Well, you and I talk for hours anyway.
We would too. Talk about this, talk about that.
So Andrea, why don't you give all your links so everybody can get a reading with you and come see you?
I don't know what happened to my webpage. It's missing. It's like I can't even get in there to do anything. But I do have my Facebook page, Crow Spirit Connection. Everything that I offer is on there too. And you can set up appointments with me on there too, or just shoot me a message. And or my regular page is Andrea Humphrey. I'm in the Madison area. So there's that. I do have an event, weather permitted, on the 19th up in Reedsburg. At I'll be doing readings up there at Quintessential Quartz. Did I say that right?
Quintessential. Yeah, sounds right.
Yeah. So I'll be up there on the 19th. That'll be fun. They're great too. So they're great. And then I did get to do stuff with Luna and Andrew.
Andrew, sweet.
Yeah, that was
readings at Cosmic Delight. So yeah, that was great. A lot of good comments about you, I heard. So everything was awesome.
Aww. So that's good. So that's amazing. That's where I'm available.
And then we do Spirit Connections too, our shows together. We do Psychics Unite together. So if you're out there and you haven't been to Psychics Unite yet, please like our YouTube page. We just started that. Jen and her husband Steve are creating our new website for Psychics Unite. We're really excited about that. Really nice. To help get different levels and get our teachings and our school in there and everything. So it's going to be kind of fun to see that building here as we get moving. But everything. You can find me, Scotty Rourke, somewhere. I'm on everywhere. So just look for me. You'll find me. We got a business page. Please like that. My business page that I've had now for a while. It's at Scotty Rourke Psychic Medium on Facebook, my business page. So very excited to be there. So thank you everybody for coming out tonight. Next Monday night, 6:30 is Psychics Unite. So come out to the meeting. It's free. It's on Zoom. should be posted on my page. It's posted on everybody's page, Devin's, Jen's, Greg's, Nick's, Shadow Hunters. Shadow Hunters is our paranormal group for Psychics Unite now. So we're very happy to have them.
Nice.
Jen's running our Psychics Unite page for us. And so we got a lot going on with Psychics Unite, because they'll come join us. We just started the LGBTQ community. And we also started a shamanism group too. So really getting into a lot of fun stuff. So thank you to everybody for coming. As every week I'm here. Who am I got next week? Oh, I got Bill Bean on next week. So very excited to have Bill Bean. If you never talked to him, what an amazing man. He's coming on next Wednesday night right here on Scotty Talks About. Scotty talked about Andrea Humphrey tonight. So thank you, Andrea, for everything. Appreciate
Thank
you
you,
coming.
Scotty.
Thank
Love
you,
you,
everybody. Love everybody so much. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.